Have you ever felt that really deep sting of betrayal from the people who are supposed to love you the most? It's a kind of pain that just hits different, you know? So let's get right into this, because what we're about to explore is the idea that this isn't just about hurt feelings. We're talking about a profound spiritual wound.
Wow. Just let that sink in for a second. This is our starting point. When betrayal comes from inside your circle, your family, your partner, it works on a whole other level. It's not just trauma. The source material calls it a ritual-level soul fracture. It's like it's specifically designed to break you down from the inside out.
So let's unpack this core concept, family as the altar. I know, it's a really challenging idea, right? The very system we're taught to see as our source of safety and love can sometimes, without us even realizing it, become a place of energetic sacrifice. Now, what's really fascinating here is this idea of energetic keys. Think about it. The people closest to us, they have the keys to our inner gates. They know our history, our vulnerabilities, our deepest hopes and fears. And that's exactly why their words and actions can cut so much deeper than anyone else's. It creates this huge confusion, doesn't it? How can this possibly be harm if it's coming from someone who says they love me? And here's what that can actually look like in the real world. It's not always some big dramatic event. It can be that parent who humiliates you in front of others, or siblings who reject you in a way that feels like it's been going on for lifetimes, or that partner who pulls you in with all this intense love only to just discard you. These are all patterns that systematically drain your energy on this invisible family altar. Okay, but here's where it gets even more complex. What if the people doing the hurting have no idea what they're actually doing? The source suggests that a lot of the time, they are unwitting pawns in a much bigger game of spiritual sabotage. And this is absolutely crucial. We're not always talking about conscious, mustache-twirling villains here. A loved one can become a conduit for harm because they themselves are compromised. Maybe they're programmed by their own trauma, or they're playing out a karmic debt they're not even aware of. In a way, they're being used too. Oh, this slide is basically a decoder ring for this whole dynamic. It shows us what's really being said underneath the surface. So when you hear, "I didn't mean it," the spiritual reality might be that they've given unconscious consent to be used against you. That classic line, "You're too sensitive," that's a tactic to confuse you. And why you always bring this up? Well, that's just good old-fashioned gaslighting to keep the broken system from changing. So this takes us to an even deeper level, to the idea of unspoken psychic agreements. The source suggests that some of these painful dynamics are actually rooted in soul contracts that we're carrying around without having a clue. Now get ready for this reframe. What if the betrayal isn't happening because you're flawed, but because you're healing, because you're shining your light? Your growth can be a massive trigger for the unhealed parts of the people around you. Their shame or envy makes them vulnerable, and that's when negative influences can whisper lies into their thoughts, leading them to betray you without even knowing why. And if we zoom out, we can see how this isn't just about one or two people. These patterns get woven into the fabric of a family. They get passed down from generation to generation until, believe it or not, betrayal becomes a kind of tradition. It becomes just what this family does. But this is the turning point. This is the moment you take your power back. If you recognize any of this, the source offers this incredible perspective. You are not here to be another victim in the cycle. You were born to be the one who finally breaks the contract. You're the cycle breaker. Okay, so we've looked at the problem from all these different angles. We see how deep it goes. So the big question is, what do we do about it? How do we actually rise above this and reclaim our own power, our own energetic sovereignty? Here are 4 really clear steps. First, you have to call it what it is. No more excuses, no more sugarcoating. Second, you remove their energetic access. You consciously decide to end those unspoken agreements. Third, and I love this phrase, you forgive strategically. This isn't about letting them off the hook or being a doormat. It's about releasing resentment for your own sake while keeping that door firmly closed to future harm. And finally, you recognize and own your role as the one who's here to disrupt this whole pattern. And this is that role. It's a total identity shift. You see, you're not the problem. You're not cursed. You're not too sensitive. You are the cure. You are the one who has the power to heal not just yourself, but the entire lineage before and after you. And to really help anchor this feeling, here's a powerful affirmation. Let's just take a breath and really feel this one. I'll read it out loud. I revoke
all soul contracts that allow my energy to be harvested, manipulated, or silenced through the people I love. All right, we've covered a lot of ground. And now, to make this really personal and really useful, it's your turn to reflect. This is where you can take these big ideas and start applying them to your own life. This is where the inner work begins. So, for this first one, I want you to really think about it. Remember those energetic keys we talked about? Why does a betrayal from a loved one feel like a gut punch in a way that an insult from a stranger just doesn't? What's the real difference for you? Next, think back to that decoder ring slide. Which of those minimizing phrases have you heard over and over? You're just being dramatic. Why can't you let it go? Just identifying the specific words they use is the first step to taking back your power and reclaiming your own truth. This one's a biggie. What are the unspoken rules in your family system? The things everyone knows but nobody ever says out loud. Maybe it's an agreement to not outshine someone or to always be the peacemaker. How can you start to consciously say, you know what? I'm not signing up for that anymore. Let's get really practical here. What does strategic forgiveness actually look like in your life? It's not about condoning what happened. It's about freeing yourself. So how can you release that heavy resentment while still keeping yourself safe with strong, healthy boundaries? And our final prompt is really a call to action. Stepping into that role of the cycle breaker, that's a huge deal, right? So how can you do it? How can you be that powerful force for change in your family line while also fiercely protecting your own peace of mind? And we'll end on this final incredibly clarifying thought. When this kind of betrayal happens, it feels so deeply personal. But what if it's actually positional? Maybe you are simply in a position in the family system where your light is shining on shadows they aren't ready to face. And just understanding that, well, that might be the very key that sets you free.